In this guide, why TLS certificates alone don't prove which workload is calling, how SPIFFE defines a workload identity URI, and how SPIRE issues short-lived X.509-SVIDs, what the Workload API handshake looks like in practice, and why zero-trust microsegmentation depends on this. Identity Expert, powering you to be an expert in identity. Here is something that should worry every platform engineer. The majority of production microservice fleets, even at companies that ship daily and brag about zero trust, still authenticate one service to another using static API keys baked into environment variables. Keys that never expire. Keys that outlive the engineers who created them. Keys that reveal absolutely nothing about the runtime holding them. We solved user identity 20 years ago with federation, MFA, and short-lived tokens. But machine-to-machine identity, the thing that actually carries every payment, every database query, every internal API call that has been stuck in 1998. Today we are going to look at the project that fixes this, and at the reference implementation that every major cloud now quietly relies on. SPIFFE, the Secure Production Identity Framework for Everyone, and SPIRE, the SPIFFE Runtime Environment. SPIFFE is the specification. SPIRE is the open-source implementation that runs on Kubernetes, on AWS, on bare metal, on anything. By the end of this video, you will know what a SPIFFE ID is, what an SVID is, how the Workload API delivers credentials without a single secret on disk, and why Istio, Envoy, AWS EKS Pod Identity, and Google Cloud Workload Identity Federation all share the same DNA. This is workload identity. This is what zero trust actually looks like below the application layer. Think of a large hospital. Every employee, doctor, nurse, lab tech, cleaner wears a badge with their name, their role, and a photograph. The badge is signed by the hospital. It expires. It can be revoked. When you need to enter a restricted ward, the door reader does not check your IP address or your job title verbally. It reads your badge, checks the signature, checks the expiry, checks the access list. Now imagine the same hospital ran the way most microservice fleets run today. Instead of badges, every employee carried a slip of paper that said the password is Hunter2. Same paper for everyone in the same role. Never expires. If the paper is photocopied, you cannot tell. If a cleaner finds a doctor's slip, the cleaner becomes a doctor as far as every door is concerned. That paper slip is what a static API key looks like to a service. SPIFFE is the badge system. Every workload, every pod, every container, every function gets a badge. The badge says I am the checkout service in the payments namespace in the production trust domain. It is signed. It expires in an hour. It is delivered to the workload through a local socket the workload cannot impersonate, and every other service can verify it without phoning a central server. That is the entire idea. The cleverness is in how the badge gets issued, because there is no human at the start of the chain to look at the workload's face. Let us name the actual problems SPIFFE is designed to solve. Problem 1. IP addresses are not identity. In Kubernetes, a pod IP is reused within seconds of the pod terminating. Two completely different workloads can hold the same IP minutes apart. NAT sidecars and node local proxies hide the real source. You cannot cryptographically assert an IP. Problem 2. Static credentials. API keys, shared secrets, long-lived service certificates, they end up in environment variables in Helm values in CI logs on developer laptops. They live for months. When they leak, you do not know it leaked, and rotating them takes a coordinated deployment. Problem 3. Custom MTLS. Every team that has tried to do mutual TLS internally builds their own CA, their own naming convention, their own enrollment process. It works for a year. Then a certificate expires at 3 in the morning and nobody remembers how the rotation tooling worked. Problem 4. Cloud-specific identity. AWS IAM roles, Google Service accounts, Azure managed identities. Each cloud solves workload identity inside its own walls and not 1 inch outside them. The moment your workload runs across 2 clouds, or talks to a partner organization, or lives on bare metal, those mechanisms stop. SPIFFE replaces all 4 with a single design. Every workload gets a SPIFFE ID, a URI, and a trust domain. The ID is delivered as a short-lived credential called an SVID in either X.509 or JWT form. The credential is fetched, not stored. It rotates automatically before it expires. And the issuance is gated by cryptographic attestation of the workload's runtime, not by a password the workload knows. Here is the architecture end-to-end, 3 components, 1 socket. The SPIRE Server is the control plane. There is 1 per trust domain. It holds the registration entries, the operator-defined rules that say workloads matching these selectors are entitled to this SPIFFE ID. It holds the certificate authority for X.509-SVIDs and the signing keys for JWT-SVIDs. The SPIRE agent runs on every node, every Kubernetes node, every EC2 instance, every VM. The agent is the data plane. It is what workloads actually talk to. The Workload API is a gRPC service exposed by the agent on a Unix domain socket on the local node. By default, it's /tmp/spire-agent/public/api.sock. There is no network call, there is no token. The workload connects to the socket, and that is the entire authentication step from the workload's point of view. Now the magic. There are two distinct attestation events. The first is node attestation. When an agent starts up, it has to prove to the server which node it is running on. SPIRE has plugins for this. On Kubernetes, the agent presents a projected service account token bound to the audience SPIRE-server, and the server verifies it against the cluster's JWKS. On AWS, the agent presents the EC2 Instance Identity Document, and the server verifies the AWS signature. On GCP, the Instance Identity Token. On bare metal, a TPM attestation or a one-time join token. The server validates the platform evidence out of band, then issues the agent its own SVID. The second is workload attestation. When a process opens the Workload API socket, the agent does not ask who are you. It reads /proc to get the caller's process ID, the C group, the user ID. On Kubernetes, it queries the kubelet to find which pod that process belongs to, which namespace, which service account, which container image digest. On Docker, it queries the daemon. The agent assembles a set of selectors, strings like K8's namespace payments, K8's service account checkout, K8's container image digest SHA-256:, and matches those selectors against the registration entries. If a registration entry matches, the agent fetches an SVID from the server for that SPIFFE ID and streams it back to the workload over the socket. The workload never makes a claim. The workload never holds a secret. The agent observes and the server signs. Let us look at what actually gets delivered. There are two SVID formats and you will see both. First, the X.509-SVID. This is a standard X.509 certificate with one critical detail. The SPIFFE ID lives in the URI Subject Alternative Name, not the common name. The common name is unset or non-authoritative. Verifiers must check the URI SAN. So a leaf certificate SAN field reads URI://prod.example.com/ns/payment/saw/checkout. That URI is the identity. The trust domain is prod.example.com. The path encodes the workload namespace payments service account checkout. The certificate's lifetime is 1 hour by default. The agent renews at roughly half-life and streams the new SVID to the workload over the same socket connection. The workload swaps the certificate in memory. No restart, no reconfiguration. Second, the JWT-SVID, same identity, different envelope. A JWT signed by the trust domain's JWT signing key. The header carries an ALG of RS-256 or ES-256, a KID for key rotation and type of JWT. The payload is deliberately minimal. The subclaim holds the SPIFFE ID. The odd claim is mandatory and holds the intended recipient, typically the receiving workload's SPIFFE ID. The EXP claim sets expiry. The IET claim sets issuance time, that is it. No IS, no NBF, no custom claims. The SPIFFE specification keeps JWT-SVIDs minimal because identity is the only thing they assert. Authorization is a separate decision made by the consuming service, usually by mapping the source SPIFFE ID to a policy in Envoy Istio or an application-level access control layer. Alongside both SVID types, the agent streams the trust bundle, the set of CA certificates and JWKS keys for the trust domain. That is what receivers use to verify peer SVIDs. When keys rotate, the bundle update arrives over the same socket stream. No redeploy required. No identity system is magic, and SPIFFE has a real threat model. Let us walk 3 high-impact attacks. First, node attestation spoofing. If an attacker can replay a stolen platform attestation, for example a captured AWS Instance Identity Document or a leaked Kubernetes service account token, they can register a malicious agent that the server believes is running on a victim node. Every workload selector parented to that node now becomes mintable by the attacker. Mitigation. Use audience-bound, short-lived platform evidence. On Kubernetes, projected service account tokens with the audience SPIRE-server and a 1-hour lifetime. On AWS Instance Identity Document signature verification combined with the IMDS version 2 requirement so the document cannot be lifted from outside the instance. Monitor for duplicate agent SVIDs for the same node. Second, SVID exfiltration before expiry. If an attacker compromises a workload, they can copy the in-memory X.509 private key and SVID and use them from outside the cluster until the SVID expires. Because an X.509-SVID is a bearer credential against any verifier that has the trust bundle, this gives the attacker up to 1 hour of impersonation. Mitigation. Keep SVID lifetimes short, minutes rather than the default hour for the highest sensitivity workloads. Never write SVID keys to disk. Pair SPIFFE identity with peer authorization policies. Envoy RBAC or Istio authorization policy bound to source SPIFFE ID, so even a stolen SVID is gated by the destination's policy engine. Third, and the highest leverage attack of all, trust bundle poisoning. If an attacker compromises the SPIRE server or its data store and inserts an attacker-controlled certificate authority into the trust bundle, every workload in the trust domain will accept SVIDs minted by the attacker's CA. This is identity domain takeover. Short SVID lifetimes do not help, the attacker mints fresh ones. Mitigation must be layered. HSM-backed signing keys via PKCS #11 or KMS. Run the SPIRE CA in upstream mode, where the SPIRE CA is itself constrained by an external route with audit logging. Restrict data store access. Monitor bundle contents for unexpected changes. Treat the SPIRE server like a root certificate authority because that is what it is. Where this is going, SPIFFE and SPIRE graduated from CNCF incubation to graduated status in 2022, the same maturity tier as Kubernetes, Envoy, and Prometheus. That graduation reflects production deployment at Bloomberg, Uber, ByteDance, Pinterest, and inside cloud providers themselves. Istio has shipped SPIFFE IDs in its mesh certificates since version 1.0, and recent Istio versions support running with SPIRE as the certificate authority through the SPIRE integration mode. Envoy's secret discovery service can be backed directly by the SPIFFE Workload API, which means any Envoy proxy in the world can become a SPIFFE consumer without a single line of code change. The biggest cross-pollination is with the cloud providers. AWS EKS Pod Identity, which went generally available in 2023, issues short-lived OIDC-compatible tokens to pods that are architecturally close to JWT-SVIDs. AWS IAM roles anywhere accepts X.509 certificates whose SAN can be a SPIFFE URI, so a SPIRE-issued SVID can be exchanged directly for AWS credentials. GCP Workload Identity Federation lets a workload present a JWT-SVID and exchange it for short-lived Google credentials through the security token service. The bridge that makes this all work is the OIDC discovery provider that ships with SPIRE. It exposes the trust domain's JWT signing keys as a standard OpenID Connect well-known configuration and JWKS endpoint, so any STS that speaks OIDC Federation can consume a JWT SVID. Looking forward. The IETF WIMSC Working Group, Workload Identity in Multi-System Environments, formed in 2024 is standardizing the broader problem of workload identity across systems. SPIFFE is the foundational input. Expect the next 2 to 3 years to converge SPIFFE specifications with WIMSC drafts on token chaining, federation, and delegation. SPIFFE is not a replacement for cloud IAM. It is the bridge that lets one workload identity be verified by every cloud, every cluster, every legacy system. The Workload API is the contract. Everything else is an attester or a consumer. If you take one thing from this video, take this: your services are already trusting each other. The only question is whether that trust is built on a static string in an environment variable, or on a cryptographically attested identity that rotates every hour and cannot leave the runtime that earned it. All primary sources cited in today's guide are listed on screen. You'll find direct links to the RFCs and specifications in the video description below. If this breakdown helped you understand the topic better, please subscribe to Identity Expert. We publish a new protocol deep dive every week. Thanks for watching. If there's a specific identity standard, authentication flow, or security protocol you'd like us to cover next, drop it in the comments below. We build our content based on what the community asks for. Subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss an episode.